What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about Faraday Future. I want to go over some expectations for this upcoming week and go over some predictions and things that you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. And with that, let's get right to it. So starting off, in case you do not know, come Monday, that whole 1 for 40 reverse stock split is going to be in full force. So a couple of things. You will want to look at your average and your shares, because your shares are going to take that divided by 40. That's going to be your new share count. And your average, take that times by 40. That's going to be your new average. So your broker will automatically adjust that come Monday. So just kind of be prepared for that. And as well, with it closing at 12.84 cents, essentially it's going to open up around $5.13 once the halt is actually removed. But pre-market will ultimately dictate what does happen, whether it be higher, lower, to the side, whatever happens pre-market as what normal, as per normal. So one thing that I wanted to talk on is a lot of people are under the impression that post reverse stock split, it will go up, it will spike. And you know me, I do not sugarcoat things. I could easily just say, hey, you know what? It is going to spike. It is going to go to the moon because it did a reverse stock split. I'd love just to hype you guys up with that crap, but I wouldn't be able to live with myself. Like, I need to tell you guys the truth. And yeah, honestly, there's two ways for a stock to spike post reverse stock split. One is news. So I believe that news actually does dictate, even with or without a reverse stock split, news will dictate the stock going up, down, sideways, whatever, right? Because that's what happens. Part number two to that, if you do believe Faraday is heavily shorted from a naked share standpoint, then yes, that could really prompt a squeeze, but that's very hard to really tell. So essentially, those are the two kind of attributes that could really prompt a squeeze post reverse stock split. But in reality, spoiler alert, a reverse stock split is just a temporary patch, and especially just in this case, just for compliance purposes. So when it comes down to just the temporary patch, if you do not fix the underlying problem, it is going to continue to bleed. That's just my own opinion. Plus, as well, it could also be extended to your own personal lives, right? If you keep trying to do the same thing and expect different results, you're going to lose, right? And eventually, you're going to have an epiphany that you're the problem itself. So in reality, Faraday is going to need to put out news. And the only thing that's been coming out news related has been from YT, as you can kind of see. So he did a little bit of an adventure. Looks like 9 hours ago he concluded that. So pretty good stuff. So he's done a lot of posts for that. It's kind of comical. I just wanted to say something funny, but so he posted this on August the 15th, says that he's going from LA to Monterey. I did more of a side jab comment saying, are you fleeing the States or going into hiding? That's my bad, because I did not know that California had a Monterey. I thought he was going to Mexico, but whatever. It is what it is. My bad on that. Still, kind of more of a side comical thing there. So when it comes down to actual news, for instance, just speaking on YT, why do they not license out their technology? Because essentially, if he did this in one shot, that's 320 miles. That is relatively good. Tesla's at around 400, Lucid a little bit further than that. And they're like, those two are the big contenders in the market. And so even Lucid has licensing agreements with Aston Martin, possibly even Hyundai coming as well. So logically, if Faraday can actually hit these ranges and have a good amount left over, why the hell are they not licensing their technology? So that's one kind of example that they can put out for news, is that they are going to be looking at potential candidates for licensing agreements. They keep talking about partnerships for financing. It comes off as like, hey, give me money, but they have, in theory, technology that they can offer in exchange for revenue. So I think that's an example that they can really put out for news that can change the dynamic of the trend. So ultimately, like I said, I do feel that a whole reverse stock split, and what is coming is just more of a temporary patch. It is still going to continue its trend. Like I said, spoiler alert, my bad. I'm not here to burst you guys' bubble. I could easily say it could go to $100 come Monday, but you know what? That doesn't benefit anyone. So under this channel, I do cover quite a lot of stocks, and actually many other channels. I cover a lot of stocks that have undergone reverse stock splits. And so one of which is Virgin Galactic. So they recently did a reverse stock split, June 17th, 2024, a 1-for-20. So I want to go over some examples. When this did happen, you had similarly a lot of people saying, hey, this is going to spike, this is going to the moon. Regrettably, I was one of those same people who was like, nope, it's actually going to have probably like a 30 to 35% pullback. I got called FUD and all that other crap, which I really could give two craps about. But in theory, if we look at this, since then it has gone down 43.85%. So in reality, Virgin is a very good example to Faraday because both balance sheets are complete shit. Virgin does have a little bit more revenue and a little bit more established operationally, but both are reliant on dilution. Just on a side note, Virgin kind of relies on direct dilution versus Faraday relies on convertible notes, and that is a little bit more damaging to the stock price itself. So technically, even though Virgin went down 45%, in theory, Faraday could go down a little bit more because of that kind of convertible aspect. So this is a good example I wanted to bring up. And plus there's this website right here, it goes over every single reverse stock split that has happened, whether it be a forward or reverse stock split, the ratio, it shows everything, the date. So you can pull up absolutely any one of these scenarios and see in theory what did happen. And you can kind of compare and contrast. You also have to look at why they are doing a reverse stock split. Is it for compliance purposes? What is happening operationally? Most of the companies itself are doing a reverse stock split because of compliance purposes. And again, it's more of just a temporary patch, not necessarily, it doesn't go up afterwards. Another example is I have covered in the past, I kind of stopped because it was just very, very toxic, and that is T2. Stock price seems to have stabilized over this last little bit, but they have done 2 reverse stock splits. Conveniently, October seems to be their thing on the exact same anniversary, but they recently did a 1-for-100. So just pulling that up. So October 13th, basically right here, it has gone down about 56% since then. And even in the short term, it went down 53%. Like I said, it kind of stabilized itself over here, but still, like a lot of people are expecting Faraday to do a reverse stock split and just everyone go on their merry way and everything else. Faraday operations does need to get their ass in gear and physically put out news. If not, then similar to these 2 examples, it is going to continue down this trend. I'm not here to spread FUD. Again, Faraday might do completely something different and just go to the moon. Who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. I'm not a financial advisor or anything like that. You guys know that by now, but let me know your thoughts on your predictions. My predictions are come Monday, it will close probably around that $4.80 range, but there will be a significant dip that does always happen time and time again, and it'll probably settle around, or that dip, the low will be probably around 460. That's how I see things. Hopefully they do put out news and that changes the dynamic of everything. But without that news, there's going to be a certain level of fear because a lot of people, for whatever reason, were not believing that Faraday was going to do a reverse stock split. So I think Monday is going to be a very big surprise to a lot of entities, retail and institutions. So let me know your thoughts on Faraday. Have you been buying? Have you been selling? And where do you see things going come Monday? Do you think that it is going to essentially pull down, or do you think it's going to go up, stay flat? What's your viewpoint on all of that? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And one final thing, even though Faraday does what it wants sometimes, Take advantage of this promo. Simply sign up for a new account, throw $100 at it. They give you 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. So link to that is in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.